What's going on, guys? My name is Jordan Griffin, and I'm here with AMillion Magazine to do a question and answer session.
For those of you who don't know you, were you born and raised in PA? And if so, where's your hometown?
Yes, I was born and raised in Pennsylvania. I grew up around the Doylestown area, and I still live there to this day.
That's what's up. How would you describe it around the town? Is it like slow, fast paced?
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot to do, but it's not necessarily like city life at all. But I kind of like that. I feel like big cities are fun to go to for like a day or a weekend, but I feel like it's too much for me to like live in an area like that. Yeah. So it's pretty low key here, and it's just fun. There's a lot of people and a lot of things to do, so it's fun to like meet new friends and stuff like that.
So who would you say influenced you musically growing up?
I actually just got into music like 4 years ago, so it's relatively new. I was put on to like the music scene with like Eminem and George Watsky and some of like the more like fast lyrical rappers.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's kind of funny because I like don't listen to like any of that music anymore. I don't even really listen to rap music at all. I listen to more like pop and pop punk, alternative, stuff like that. So that definitely like influenced the music I make.
So has your style that you've created through your influences, has that been compared to anybody else?
In the beginning of my music career, people compared me to Logic, which I could like kind of see, but I feel like that's just any white kid who could flow, you know? It's like I didn't really hear that much of a difference, or a similarity, I mean. But yeah, besides that, people think my newer music is similar to like Machine Gun Kelly and stuff like that, which is okay. Like, he's one of my favorite artists, but I don't want to be like exactly like him. I want to have my own style.
So how did you get into music, and then how did you get into skateboarding?
Okay, so I've been writing songs since I was in like 5th grade. I would type them up after school on my little computer, and it was like literally a mini computer. I think it was like this big. I don't even think they make those anymore.
Yeah, the tiny ones.
Yeah, but I was typing up songs on there, and I'm like, one day I might record, and that day didn't happen for a while. And I just have a lot of friends who make music. I think the turning point for me is when my good friend Andrew Miore, he's produced stuff for like Meek Mill, and he just moved out to LA to like pursue his own artist career, has no love for the middle child. He came over, I was teaching him how to skateboard, he gave me some concert tickets, and he's like, yo, if you want to go for it, all you got to do is just try it. And I'm like, you know what? Like, that's pretty simple advice, but maybe I'll try it. So I had a couple sponsors, and they paid for a trip for me to go out to North Carolina to skate with some of the teammates. But through networking on Instagram, I met a rapper named OG Quad, and he invited me over to his crib, and that's where I recorded my first song. And I guess we'll get into that a little bit later. Yeah, but that was crazy. But that's kind of what made me do it. Just motivated friends who thought I could partake in all the fun.
And then how did you get into skateboarding? Was that like since you were like a kid, basically, or?
Yeah, so I started skateboarding like the summer of 5th grade. I started when I was 10. And growing up, I always played like the Tony Hawk Underground games on like PlayStation. And my best friend at the time, he came over, he's like, let's skateboard. And I thought I wasn't like a daredevil. I'm like, hell no, like, you're not gonna catch me on that. And I was like trying to convince him not to skate, and he's like, can you just try it? And he dragged me outside, and we did it. And ever since, I've been hooked. My neighbor up the street, he used to skate like way back in the day, so he was trying to teach me how to ollie, which is just like your basic jump, and that really hyped me up. And ever since, I've been hooked, and I can't get off my board. I've been doing it for 11 or 12 years now, so it's been a while.
So I know we were just talking about, you get into music. So describe your like experience the first time you ever recorded. Like, what was that process like?
Definitely scary. I think that trip to North Carolina was the only place I've recorded which was outside of like my own room or dorm room. So it was kind of scary having like people around this home studio watching me, and I'm pretty sure the studio was like literally this big. I barely fit inside it, and yeah, I just remember in the middle of recording, that guy OG Quad, his mom or grandmom came in, and the front door like blocked the studio door, so I was just like stuck in this closet for like 15 minutes. It was pretty weird.
And that's different because you said that was your first time like leaving like your town too to go and
Yeah, that
and
was
do
really
that.
my first trip and first time recording, so it was just a lot to take in.
So I know you just mentioned dorm room. So you were in college too as well.
Yeah, so I go to Rider University for graphic design,
Nice.
and I specialize in like album art and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had a little recording set up, and it was actually on top of my microwave. It was super ghetto. It got the job done, and I think some of my favorite songs were recorded on top of my microwave. Fun fact.
So how do you balance, music, skateboarding, and then school as well, like learning? All along
I
with
actually
that.
get this question a lot. It all comes down to time management in the end. And I just like to dip my toes in anything that catches my interest. And I feel like if I want to do something, I want to do it, so I'll make time for it. So I make to-do lists on my phone pretty much every day, just like learn a new trick, design this cover, do this flyer, sell this many merch items, and like I'll just organize my day. And just checking those things off, it just makes me feel good. And I probably overwork myself a little bit too much. I'm able to like work from home, so it's like some days I could take it easy and just kind of
Yeah.
chill and hang out with some friends or family. But other times I'll work from like 9 a.m. to like 3 in the morning.
I know. Speaking of balancing things, you have a skate camp as well.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you fit that in there, and then what does that mean to you? I mean, because obviously you have to make time for it, so that has to be something.
Yeah,
pretty important.
so I partner up with Abington's Parks and Rec and the Skateboard Academy, and we do a skate camp. It's only 9 a.m. to 11:30, Monday through Friday, every other week. So that gives me the whole rest of my afternoon to like do whatever else I have to do.
Gotcha.
So I just chunk out that time in the morning, and I just go to the skate park. And this year has been awesome. I've had fully booked weeks, like every single week so far.
Wow.
So I don't even have to promote camp anymore, which is kind of
Yeah.
great. I just kind of show up
Show up
and
and
do
do
what
it.
I gotta do.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
no, it's crazy because some of the parents, like, these kids never skated. Their parents just sign them up. They throw them in here. Some of the kids have been skating for a couple years, and it's like the people who don't want to be there necessarily are hooked by like the first day. I bring a bunch of like giveaways and stuff like that. I print my own merch.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm able to give away a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
keep
we'll
them hooked
play-
basically.
Yeah, and we'll play games, and we'll just give them some incentive to keep skating. And it just feels good because it's like these kids didn't want to skate, and now they're coming early. They're coming back to the park after camp. They're practicing. I see them the next day, and they're 10 times better than they were the day before.
That's what's up. So when you first started, did you have anything like that? Like a skate camp or anything, or like local events to go to or something like that?
Yeah, so growing up, we have it's still there. It's called the Doylestown YMCA skate park, and I was always partaking in skate camp there, and I feel like at that time I was really into skating, and I was doing a little bit more than like your average kid picking up a skateboard.
Yeah.
So I would say I needed to find another camp that was more suited to like help me take it to the next level. So that took me to Camp Woodward, which is actually the biggest action sports camp in the world, and that's
wow.
like 3.5 hours away from my house. So it's like pretty close. I mean, it's close because it's like you go there and people are literally flying out from like every country.
Oh wow.
And it's like I met friends from like Zimbabwe and like the Ukraine. All these
Yeah.
kids flew out. They've never been to the United States ever.
Yeah. So to them, you're from down the street basically.
Yeah.
That's
So it's not necessarily close, and I haven't been there in a couple years, but that camp really was able to push my skating and help me take it to the next level.
awesome.
And yeah, I get called a Woodward kid sometimes, but I don't really know what that means. I was just trying to get better at skating.
So how long did you go there for? A couple years?
Yeah, it's like 3 years, and what they do is they have like guest pros come. So I was able to skate with like some of the pros like Manny Santiago and Dave
wow.
Baczynski, who like I watch and like these skate contests
Yeah.
on TV, and like I got to have lunch with them. We had tacos, and we just got to like talk it up, skate, and just have a good time.
All right, so we'll dip back into the music scene real quick, and we'll go into that. So, what would you say are your top 3 artists that you know, like from Pennsylvania, that you could list? Whether if just a supporter or a friend of yours, it could be anybody.
Do they have to be born and raised here, or
No, they can just
living
represent
here?
PA. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so my number 1 is gonna have to be my girlfriend Shelby. She makes really good pop music, and it's crazy, and that inspires me to do better because her vocals are A1. I'm still getting the hang of everything, but number 2 would have to be my good friend Alex Catronbone. He's still mentoring me. He was one of the first people I met in like the Philly music scene, and he just took me under his wing, and he really gave me like my first concert experiences, and he called me up on stage like before I did music to perform songs with him, and then he like helped me headline my own shows and stuff like that, and he's always just giving me tips and tricks, so he's definitely on the list. And
Got one more.
I'm having trouble thinking of one more. But he doesn't live here. He's coming back though. That's my excuse. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 3, my childhood best friend. He goes by Lil Zip, and I did a lot of my early music with him. I felt like I was so bad at music compared to what he was able to do, but I feel like he's helped me like catch up, and he put the bar up here, so I'm just trying to catch up, and yeah, we're just making dope music.
So what would you say, like, what are your thoughts on the whole music scene from PA, or you could even do, your town or Philly or anything?
Okay, so I feel like especially in this area, everyone and their mom tries to be a rapper, and that doesn't always work. So people get really salty, and it's like if you do something, they don't want to check it out because it's like, you're this guy, you went to this school,
Yeah.
you can't be good if this is like your first couple songs, But I feel like the general community is pretty supportive. Like once you have people like, oh, like it's actually not bad, then people want to check it out. And if you have numbers to back up your songs, that's also incentive for people to listen, because I feel like people in the industry are just kind of stubborn to begin with, like all around. So you have to kind of give the people a reason to click on your song or album. You have to stand out in the crowd.
How do you connect with your audience, basically?
I connect to my audience a lot through social media. I've been posting on like Instagram for as long as I could remember. So I really started building my following on there, like back when I started skateboarding, and that tied into music and stuff like that. Yeah, I feel like I've stood out just by being versatile. I started just like rapping over trap beats. I feel like that's the usual like beginning stages, and then like you just have to do what makes you happy. So some people think like I should still like stick with that, and like I still do rap. Like a lot of my features people want me to rap, but it's like I started doing more pop music, and my whole next project is all alternative, and that's what makes me the happiest. It's fun to listen to. I want to keep listening to it. It's different. You don't really see people around here doing that, and I think that's what makes me stand out. And it's kind of different because especially with like the alternative music, like I don't have a band backing me, so I feel like around here in like the local schools you have these little bands that get together, and it's like I kind of wish I had that, but at the same time I learned in my years of doing everything that having a team is really hard to like be stable and get everyone on the same page. So it's cool that I'm able to network with different producers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and still be independent as your own artist as well.
Yeah.
Well, I know you mentioned like concerts and shows. So how was what was your first show like, or what's your favorite one that you've done?
I've only done a handful. I'm gonna say my first one was my favorite. So I feel like the first concert I ever went to was like pretty recently, just growing up around here. Like before I could drive, it was kind of hard to get to like a city where there was a venue.
Yeah, that's true.
So when my cousin took me and my friend Ian to this Yellow Wolf show, that like really opened up the door to music for me. And that venue was the same stage I ended up performing on for my first show. So that was just like a weird experience. Like I was in the crowd and now I'm on the stage where like all these people performed.
That's
and
awesome.
It was just crazy. There's a big artist in Philly, OT The Real, so I got to open up for him, and that was just kind of an insane experience.
All right, well, what would you say is next for you in your career?
I don't know. I like to take it day by day, and I balance a lot of stuff, so I try to constantly progress in each lane. In skateboarding, I want to keep teaching new kids how to really understand the physics of skateboarding and how to just be good role models to others. And personally, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, keep cranking out video parts, Instagram content, and just do what makes me happy. Learning tricks is always a good feeling. For music, right now my eyes are set on my upcoming album, so that's coming in September, and it's 20 songs. I've been working on it for like 2 years. I've been putting out music like constantly, but like this was supposed to be like a 3-song EP, and like I just kept making songs that fit the vibe, and it just turned into this big thing. So awesome. I'm super hyped on that, but I'm already working on the one after that, and I'm just having fun with the music, so I just want to keep getting better, keep meeting new people. With graphic design, I just want to professionalize my skills more and just network with more people and really take it day by day and just see what I could do.
All right, and then anyone that you want to shout out real quick before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to my whole family. I almost just said my mom and dad, but it goes beyond that. It's like my sister, my cousin, my grandparents. It's like all them, like my best friends. I'm going to include them in the family. It's like they've been so supportive, and they just do everything they can to help motivate me and take me to that next level. And I don't think I could be here without all their support. My girlfriend, she's inspired me a lot. All my teammates, for my sponsors in general, all the fans, shout out to the Griff gang. Yeah, I'm just super thankful for all the opportunities, and I want to keep this going for as long as possible.